You can see my team, they're working hard.
Gang Tan moved to Canada from China's Hunan province nearly 20 years ago.
And I'm confident that I'm going to win.
Now he's a Liberal Party candidate running for Parliament in a Toronto district or riding that has one of the highest populations of Chinese Canadians.
The Liberal Party is the party of the Charter of Rights and Freedom. So that's one of the cornerstones of our Canada today. The second is the Liberal Party emphasize the need for the multiculturalism.
Not so, says Prime Minister Stephen Harper, who is seeking a fourth term. Earlier this month, he told Chinese Canadian voters in Vancouver that his Conservative Party is their natural home. A Chinese language version of his party's website aims at delivering the same message. An ironic one, say some Chinese Canadian activists, who note the Harper government recently introduced tougher language requirements for would-be citizens. For some, the move echoed now outdated laws that once blocked or limited immigration from China.
Systemically, Canada has had very racist policies, and I think that's important that people don't forget that, and that to be able to vote is not to be taken for granted, and that anything that is a social policy or social service or anything that helps the community should not be taken for granted.
Lowe's CCNC, an advocacy group, promotes civic literacy, encouraging Chinese Canadians to vote by better understanding the issues.
We engage in a very specific way that, this is something that you have a right to do, in order to fight or to sort of challenge discrimination. This is something that people need to participate in.
Canada has around 35 million people. 1.5 million of them identify as having Chinese origins, and around a third of them live here in the Greater Toronto area, where they make up one of the largest minority groups and where their vote could make or break a candidate. And perhaps even the whole race. Olivia Chow is among the country's most well-known Chinese Canadian faces. She's running with the New Democratic Party in a tight race to represent Toronto's Spadina-Fort York riding. It's one of the closest watched campaigns in this election. Lily Trong works the phones for Chow in Cantonese and Mandarin.
If you speak their own languages, right, it's easy to bond and they can understand you. But I think as a Chinese Canadian, I would say we do not vote along the ethnic line. We certainly focus on the issues who we want to represent, our community.
Each of the candidates hoping to be that perfect fit.
Can we count on your support? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Rowie Rettenberg, CCTV in Toronto.
Got some supporters.